If you've never seen Trapdoor, and the chances are you won't have unless you're British and you were born in the early 80s, it was a claymation children's show about the adventures of Berk.
Somewhere in the dark and nasty regions where nobody goes stands an ancient castle. Deep within this dank and uninviting place lives Berk. Hello!
That's Berk there. He's an amiable blue monster with a West Country accent. And if you've never heard one of those before, think of the friendly rural folk accent from your own country. He lives in a spooky castle with his friends Boni, a melancholy-filled talking skull, and Drutt, a bizarre spider-mouse-rock hybrid that scuttles around the place making noises like someone in the middle of a psychotic episode trying to swallow a gerbil. Berk works in the castle's lower regions as a cook, a butler, and pretty much the general dog's body for the thing upstairs, a never-seen monster who is forever growling orders at Berk, which Berk then fulfills in his usual, cheerful, no-nonsense manner. This often involves hitting monsters with a rolling pin.
Well, there's Boni.
You see, Berk is also in charge of the titular trapdoor, which serves as the only barrier between the castle and the hordes of freakish, malformed creatures who live in the dark caverns below. Most episodes of Trapdoor revolve around Berk leaving the trapdoor open, a monster escaping and causing havoc, and then the monster being dealt with in some way. That's where Berk's rolling pin comes in, although that's far from the only solution. Sometimes he just sends the monsters up to the thing upstairs as lunch. Like I said, Berk's a no-nonsense kind of guy. Back when I was a kid, Trapdoor was an absolute joy to watch, and it's still very watchable now if you can find it on YouTube. The humour that comes from seeing Berk's deadpan reaction to whatever vile creature has dragged itself out of the trapdoor never gets old.
Chef special coming up, Sawyer.
The plasticine animation is utterly charming, and Willie Rushton's voice acting is fantastic. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, the whole point of this video. Well, then it was turned into a computer game. Here it is, the world of the trapdoor, recreated on the Commodore 64. All the major characters are here, and Berk and Boni look pretty much spot on. Drutt, who you can just about see lurking around, is less accurately portrayed, looking as he does like a cross between a frog and a lemon. Still, 2 out of 3 isn't bad. The thing upstairs is also here, his words appearing on screen to tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. He wants a can of worms, presumably to eat, although he may well have other plans for them that I would rather be kept ignorant of, and it's your job to satisfy his wishes. The game has already won points for me by attempting to recreate Berk's life of menial drudgery, instead of just making another platformer or maze game. Time to find some worms. Trapdoor plays like a graphic adventure without the menu or parser, with a series of puzzles that need to be solved by walking around the rooms of the castle, finding objects and combining them in ways that will produce the desired result. That result usually being the thing upstairs gets his dinner. There's a valuable lesson here, and that lesson is never obey orders contained within the theme song of a children's television programme. The Trapdoor song famously warns, "Don't you open that trapdoor," but by walking Berk over to that switch on the wall, the trapdoor flies open and worms issue forth. The trapdoor may house untold horrors, but it's also more efficient than a Tesco home delivery service. The praise I can receive from a hideous unseen creature residing in the attic of a haunted castle turns out to be much more rewarding than the endings of any number of modern video games. Well, to me it does. Probably because, given the leaden pace of Berk's movement, collecting those worms felt like a Herculean task, truly deserving of recognition. A bird flies out of the trapdoor. Well, that's fine. I just have to figure out how to extract eggs from the bird, and I'm sure there'll be something around the castle to help me with that. A ghost escaped from the trapdoor at the same time. A morose-looking cyan spectre with eyes at shoulder level, and hang on, that's the ghost of Horace. All those times I've got killed in Horace Goes Skiing by walking him into heavy traffic, only for his immortal spirit to end up under the trapdoor. It's a small world after all. The ghosts follow Berk around, and if they touch him, they teleport him to a random part of the castle. You can get rid of the ghost by offering them something to eat. I tried to feed him Boni, but it wasn't having it, so I had to open the trapdoor again and harvest more worms. Did I mention that you're timed? If you don't meet the thing upstairs' demands quickly enough, it results in a game over and some stinging criticism. So, I didn't quite manage to complete it, but I've certainly played enough of it to form a conclusion, and that conclusion is that Trapdoor is an interesting game. Not a bad game, not a really good game, but an interesting one. Presentation-wise, it overcomes the disappointing first impression of the graphics by capturing the feel of the Trapdoor world fairly well. If you've ever seen this show, the jittery block caps text used for the thing upstairs' commands will cause his voice to pop into your head, and Berk in particular looks great. The artist did an excellent job of capturing his fat-handed, waddling walk and his pleasantly dopey facial expressions. There's even a rendition of the theme song that might not be particularly accurate, but is still very good. The best thing about the game, though, is the kind of game it is. This could easily have been a simple cash-in job, with the trapdoor characters plugged into a side-scrolling action game or something equally pointless. But by making a title that sticks to what actually goes on in the show, the whole enterprise feels so much more trapdoory. Berk performs his thankless work with a smile on his face, even when Drutt gets in his way and Boni starts complaining, and that's how it should be. There are problems with the mechanics. Berk's movement speed is still my most hated aspect of the game. Getting items into the right positions can be a nightmare, and it's hard to be positive about the game not spawning monsters necessary to progress. But because it's such a short game, these things don't ruin the fun entirely. If you grew up with Trapdoor, then give the game a try. Just don't let it frustrate you. If you haven't seen the show, well, like I mentioned at the start, I think every episode is on YouTube, and watching Berk smack monsters with a rolling pin is probably a better use of your time. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button and let me know if you managed to complete the game, or if it was just too frustrating for you. Either way, I'd be interested to know in the comment section. Also, if you're enjoying the nostalgia, then please don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we delve even deeper. Okay, maybe not trapdoor deeper, but certainly deep enough to uncover some absolute classics from our childhood. There's plenty more on the channel with some suggestions coming up next, so I hope to see you there. And until the next one, bye for now.